Hello, let's do some problems involving arc length. So you'll face a lot of problems on Khan Academy involving arc length, central angles, and the radius of a circle. And sort of the key idea to keep in mind is that the arc length is always equal to the angle, the central angle, times the radius of the circle. So usually S is the letter that we will traditionally use to represent the arc length. Theta is the central angle. And the key here is that for the formula, theta must be in radians, and r is the radius of the circle. So let's do this example here. We've got a circle where theta is the central angle. It says, what is the measure of the central angle in degrees? So let's set up our formula. We know S equals theta r. S is the arc length. The arc length is pi. We're solving for theta, and the radius is 3. So now we want to solve this for theta, so we'll divide both sides by 3. So we get pi over 3, it equals theta. So pi over 3 is the measure of the central angle in radians. So this angle right here, this theta, is pi over 3 radians. But the question asks us, what is the measure of the angle in degrees? So if you've been studying and you're pretty good with your conversions, you'll know that that is 60 degrees, which will be the answer to the question. Now, if you can't do that mentally still, we could just go over here off to the side and convert pi over 3 radians to degrees. We need to multiply by our conversion factor, and when we're going from radians to degrees, we're going to multiply by 180 over pi. That is our conversion factor when going from radians to degrees. These pi's would cancel. We're left with 180 divided by 3, which is 60 degrees. So you just got to be careful that this formula that relates the arc length, the radius, and the central angle, that's when the central angle is in radians. So in this case, we were solving for the central angle. We got that it's pi over 3, but the question was asking us what is the measure in degrees. We just got to be careful with our units, and we just had to do a conversion from radians to degrees there before giving our final answer. What about a question like this? This is asking us to find the arc length for this diagram. So 2 is the radius, pi over 4 is the central angle, and then we're finding the arc length. So we know that the arc length is the radius, the central angle times the radius. We're solving for S. The central angle is pi over 4. Now you got to be careful because to use this formula, remember, theta has to be in radians, but it is. We're given that theta is pi over 4 radians. So that's all set. Just plug that right in. And then we need to multiply by the radius, which is 2. So S is 2 pi over 4. And if I wanted to reduce that, 2/4 is 1/2. So S is pi over 2. And then normally we'll have some sort of a units to measure length, because remember, the arc length, that's literally like the distance from this point. Sorry, I keep hitting this button on my pen. The distance from this point to this point, like just walking along the edge of the circle, how far is that? So normally that'll come with units like centimeters or inches or something like that, but this problem didn't provide units, so it's just the arc length is pi over 2 units.